Watch at your own discretion, because with my video evidence review, I am bursting your bubble on Van Cleef, and there is no going back. I am officially done. I am about to prove to you Van Cleef is no longer what it used to be by comparing the close-ups of the quality from several years ago and the quality Van Cleef is offering to you today. So put on your big girl pants and let's go. Hi guys, this is Sibylla Mirage, your fine designer, jewelry expert, and consultant. You can schedule a phone or a FaceTime consultation with me here and I'll answer all of your fine designer jewelry related questions. Guys, discovering this is actually liberating because I am no longer a slave to Van Cleef. And yes, I was. I am happy I sold what I sold. I am okay with what I have and I am happy to be done. Van Cleef cannot recover from this, not in my eyes. I feel let down. I feel violated. I feel betrayed. All of the negative emotions, but at the same time, I am grateful. God opened my eyes to Van Cleef's greedy and unfair game. I shared in my previous video that I got something as a Christmas present for myself that was on my wish list for a long time. I really wanted it, but I needed to find the right color. It was a Carnelian 10 motif. I romanticized that piece. I wanted that piece for so long, and if I were new to Van Cleef, I would have swallowed it up and I would have been happy. But I'm very happy. I have some experience with the brand and I am their VIP client because I'm gonna share with you the revelation that happened when I opened the packaging and started filming my unboxing video for you guys. The prices went up almost 13% on some pieces. And the amount of gold went down, what, 25, 30%? I don't know, but it definitely seems like it. The amount of gold in a jewelry piece is a major factor in its luxury and value. Let me say that again. The amount of gold in a jewelry piece is a major factor in its luxury and value. So I sent the pictures to the boutique. Apparently, there is no date or year when the design was changed because, and I quote, "The design is always evolving based on the client's feedback." End of quote. It's a living organism. Now, you can say that about anything without a standard, when there is no set of rules or norms. Meaning, if I buy a 10 motif today and I love it, and in a year I decide to buy another one, I might get a 9 motif because some clients like that number better. Because I can guarantee you that there was zero feedback asking to reduce the amount of gold. They got back to me and flipped it. This was their answer. And my essay is the most loyal girl. She would never say anything negative about the luxury brand she's working for. So she only delivered the message from the repair management after showing them absolutely shocking photos of mine. This is what the repair manager said. He said that there were complaints about the sharp edges of the links and that they were possibly snagging on some fabrics. No one ever addressed the amount of gold or the lack of it, and I never asked about the shape of the links. That is the least of anyone's concern. This is not an explanation such luxury brand as Van Cleef and Arpels should be providing. This is gaslighting. I felt stupid just listening to that because the links are polished. They do not snag on anything, on cashmere, on organic spiderweb blouses, and they do not even cut skin. They're not razor sharp. They are polished. It made zero sense. So now, because I have my 10 motif and an old tan motif in mother of pearl I sold due to the wear and tear on the motifs. I have something to compare the cheap ones Van Cleef is now pushing to, and I feel safe. I cannot help it but only feel bad for those future clients who are saving up to buy their dream piece and are about to walk around with what seems like 30% less gold in their tan motifs after paying an extremely increased price. They aren't buying luxury. They will never know what luxury feels like. And I'm not saying that my tan motif in hammered rose gold is worth the price tag, but it feels luxurious. The one I returned yesterday felt cheap, felt flimsy. It didn't even lay on my neck well, the way it should, the way my hammered gold one does, the way my old mother of pearl did. Forget luxurious. It didn't even feel good. With the love bracelet, for example, you get a specific amount of gold per bracelet, plus minus a couple of grams. With Van Cleef, there isn't even a ballpark. And no explanation to this extreme stealing, what I call it. The amount of gold in a jewelry piece is a major factor in its luxury and value. I didn't want to film this video so soon. I wanted to come to terms with the fact that I am done with Van Cleef. I will not be cheated out of gold I pay for. I will not be cheated out of gold that is rightfully mine, that I already paid for an increased price. You cannot increase the price by so much and reduce the amount of gold. This is stealing in my eyes because there was no update. I was not briefed on this change by my assay or by anybody. And I was so shocked because this was my dream piece. This was the most wearable carnelian piece, except for my ladybug and my magic Alhambra carnelian and my sweet Alhambra carnelian. All of my carnelian pieces are wearable, but that's not the point. The point is I needed this for every day. I found the most perfect burgundy red that went with everything, Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Red is hard to style. When you get it more burgundy, it's easier, and I pulled it off so well. But the amount of gold is everything for me because carnelian is a semi-precious stone. It is not expensive, plus it is balanced in color. It's not even natural. Van Cleef balances their crystals, their stones, which is pretty much like a color bath. So they don't dye their stones, but they enhance their natural colors, their natural beauty. So they are treated in a way, they're balanced, all of them. I think all of them. Comment down below if you know. Comment down below what you think. Comment down below what you feel after seeing this, after seeing the evidence and hearing the response. I am officially done. I kept giving Van Cleef chances. It was my toxic boyfriend. I kept going back because the high, the dopamine was so great. But let me tell you this, when you buy a tan motif like I did, the one I got in hammered gold several years ago, maybe 5, maybe 6 years ago, I was so satisfied. I did not shop for 6 months. I did not even want the earrings. I was happy. I was so happy. It was my holy grail piece. That is how some people treat their tan motifs. It is such a wearable piece. It is a statement piece that can be dressed down. You cannot go wrong with a tan motif. But not the one that doesn't even lay right on your neck, that feels flimsy, looks flimsy, and is not feeling luxurious, is not feeling expensive, is just feeling cheap, plain cheap in your hands. It would never make me happy. Even back then, I would not feel the same vibe as I did from my mother of pearl necklace and from my tan motif and from my hammered gold tan motif, because those had their original links, and now I learned they never had original links. They were always evolving. Saying that is the easiest way to lose a client, an established client that trusted you with their money, that saved up just to shop with you, and you spit in my face. With this explanation, there is no gold. How about order one for me and bring up my concern and say that the client wants the original links like the client has on all of of her other 10 motifs. How about that? Nobody addressed the amount of gold with me whatsoever. They just brushed it off like they never, ever heard it. I am done. I returned it. I am done. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video interesting, entertaining, or helpful, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below, and I will see you at the end of the week. Bye, guys.